September 26, 2023, St. Joseph County Election Board meeting. I'm calling it to order. I'm dispensing with the obligation to sing happy birthday to my older brother, whose birthday is today, but I would ask that everybody rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Our next order of business will be our review and approval of minutes of prior meetings. Have we done that yet?
I think we have two meetings. One was the 30th and one was
The second.
the 2nd. Okay,
Right.
so August 2nd and August 30th. I'd make a motion that we approve the minutes for both of those meetings as submitted.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. The motion carries unanimously. The next item on the agenda is a safe plan and recommendations. I'll entertain a motion to table it until our next meeting.
I move to table the safe plan and recommendations until our next meeting.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Other business? That's this stuff? Okay. So I'm looking at a notice to inspectors and Republican judges, and I'm assuming inspectors and Democrat sheriffs, clerks, sheriffs, and Democrat judges regarding the mandatory training. This stuff looks fine to me.
There needs to be one edit to this where the people are referred to as poll workers. I would like that to be edited out and changed to a vote center worker. That's
Fine.
the only edit that I would request.
That's fine with me. I don't know, are we asking for a formal vote on these, or just?
We have to approve this.
Oh, okay. So I'll entertain a motion with that amendment from poll workers to vote center workers, two-thirds of the way down the page. I'll entertain a motion to approve this with that amendment on both documents. Is it on both of them or just on the one?
It's on,
On the one.
Just on the inspectors and Republican judges one.
correct, right. So I move to approve the inspector and Republican judges letter along with the clerk, sheriffs, and Democrat judge letter with the one exception of the edit for poll worker to become a vote center worker.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. No opposition. The matter carries unanimously.
Now, does the letter, of course, includes implicitly the times for the training, and so maybe we should.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. The letter includes the times for the training that's offered for each of these categories. Maybe we should just make sure let everybody know when those dates are that we're approving. I assume by approving the letters, we've approved the dates also
Sure.
for the
Well,
training.
I'll read those off. So for the inspectors and Republican judges, the training sessions are Saturday, November 4th at 9:30 a.m. or 12 noon, and Sunday, November 5th at 1 p.m. or 3:30 p.m. And for the clerks, sheriffs, and Democrat judges, the training sessions are Wednesday, November 1st at 2023 at 6 p.m., Saturday, November 4th, 2023 at 9:30 a.m. or 12 noon, and Sunday, November 5th at 1 p.m. or 3:30 p.m. So since we've approved the letters, we've obviously approved those meeting times as well.
Right.
Okay, the next is this is,
It's a vote center letter that goes to the vote center.
Talking to the microphone.
okay.
I'm sorry. It goes to the vote center for them to agree to be a vote center. and
Oh,
then
okay.
It's followed up with
So do we need to sign one of these and then you just copy them a bunch of
Correct.
times?
Yep.
Okay. All right, well, looking at this letter, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to approve the letter and its, obviously its contents.
I move to approve the letter to the vote centers and its contents.
Okay. And I'll second it, but I do have a question, and is there any significant difference between the letter as it was done last time around, or is it pretty much the same?
It's pretty much the same. There was a couple edits. One was to Indiana code. There was a code change that was
Okay.
corrected from 3-12 to 3-11. And then we had, what else? Updates, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
And then there was edits to the additional, the second page. We added the email on there for contacts, and I believe, what was it, cell phone? Cell phone. And I worked with these letters with Chris and Dave as well, because they are the ones taking this information and utilizing it to get our equipment there. So it was a joint effort.
Okay, and then my understanding is that, as we discussed before, there were some problems at some of the schools, particularly with getting the places set up properly. And I just want to make sure that we have a follow-up process so that we have a very clear understanding that we don't get moved at the last minute or have any of those kinds of issues.
And that's why we added in the add-ins on the second page. Number one is to have a good contact number. A lot of times that contact number was just the school number, so we weren't able to get a hold of the principal or the maintenance guy that we needed to get a hold of. So now we're asking for a contact number for directly to be able to communicate with somebody. And then second is be specific on where the location is going to be at, of where we're going to be setting up. We didn't have that in the past. Now we want to hold those centers, specifically schools and areas, to, you're letting us know that we can have the gym or this, that, and the other. That's where we're going to go, and that's where we're going to set up.
Are you going to do it through a little sketch of the building and
We
indicate,
will,
or?
once those are determined, there, for the most part, most of the areas that we go to, there's already a set area that we know we're going to be setting up at. Obviously, in the fall, we're going to be fortunate because most of the schools are going to be closed, so we're going to have the gyms. This is going to be most important for next year, so that's why we want to establish this now, because next year is going to be key for us to be able to have key locations for us to be set up, being it's going to be a larger location or larger election for us next year.
Right.
So we want to get ahead of it now, and we're being proactive with it.
That sounds good. And actually, it'd be good to hear afterwards how it went and what kind of problems, if any, that you had.
Yep, sure.
So
Thank
when
you.
you say second page, are you referring to this contact form?
Yes.
And there's two different pages for that? One's for the contact person, the other's got the principal on it? Are you using one or both, or is there a reason to have two of them?
We're, good.
The one page with the principal on it is for the schools.
Oh, just for the schools?
The other is for other locations that are not
Gotcha.
the school, maybe a library.
Okay, great. So have we approved this, or did we, or it's been seconded, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Matter carries unanimously. Okay, and do we, the contact forms we don't need to sign, we just need to sign, I'll circulate this one as the original for signature, and then you guys can process it as necessary. And after you sign it. Okay, and now we have the CEB 40 form, what is a certification of ballot agreement in a vote center, county, notice to voters. And this is just a form that requires our signature, I believe, is that right?
It is. It is approving the ballots as they are, as everybody agreed to. I believe that was mostly done through an email chain. And the sample ballots will be put in a book, as we did in the last election, for people to review their ballot. And that form has to be at each absentee location and each vote center location.
So once again, you need an original signature and then many
Correct.
copies, right? Okay.
Unless you want to sign a bunch.
No?
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that.
So Amy, I don't think we need to vote to approve this. This is just standard.
That's a certification.
Yeah. Okay, is there other business to take up?
We're going to do a voter registration update.
Sure. I know they've been working on the voter list maintenance, which they, right now, there's nothing in the hopper, so they've kept up on that. They are still working on incompletes, so at some point, probably within the next couple of weeks, we're going to come to you and tell you that we have over 50-some people who did not give us the rest of their information, which is what we did in the spring. And I think that's it for voter registration. But But for other business too, we need to set out election board dates because the calendar is filling. So we need to set that.
Yeah, we probably need to, instead of just setting our next meeting, we probably at this point need to set all the way through the election.
Correct.
Okay, so what are thoughts on our next meeting, first of
Well,
all?
we have one set up at the,
Oh, October 2nd, I think?
yeah, I think it's right,
October 3rd is
3rd.
the public test.
That's right,
October 3rd at 10:30 a.m. at the warehouse.
right. Got that. Okay. I'm not available the following week. After that, aside from my public defender trial schedule, which is always fairly unpredictable, I should have time available virtually once a week heading into election if we think we need that many.
Tom, is your flexibility better later in the day?
If I'm not in trial, then it is, and so I'm looking the week of the 16th. Yeah, definitely the 17th. I could do late morning because typically what I do is the morning calendars for the judges, and most times I'm out of those by about 10:30. So if we had an 11 o'clock, any day except for, well, actually, any day of the week of the 16th, I could probably do an 11 a.m.
Could we do it on the 16th?
Should be able to. I've got I should be able to do that.
So you said any time around 11?
I think that works
AM?
best for me. It just gives me some flexibility. I've got 3 or 4 matters in different courts at 8:30 and 9, and I typically get there early so I can get in and out sooner, but it's kind of unpredictable for public defender work because sometimes your client don't show up, sometimes the translator's late. So, but I'm typically out, when I just have my morning call, I'm typically out by 10. So that's why I say it's probably safe to do 11,
Okay.
if that works for everybody else.
On the 16th, it does.
16th, okay.
So I want to throw this out there. I was told that they're pretty much filled up for that month. I was contacted about it. If we are unable to accommodate your hours and your schedule, would it be possible for us to move the meeting to maybe over to Olive Street Warehouse or
We
something?
could either move it there, or we could just have it in this conference room over here, or we could have it in the conference room down in the basement.
Wherever you think it would be convenient. Just remember, it is open to the public, so we do have to have space for the public. And in the back of the voter registration, we don't have chairs and that to accommodate the public
Yeah.
back there.
I-
I just
the-
want to throw that out there because it's a great possibility.
The warehouse is fine with me if it's available. I don't have any problems. It's a 5-minute jaunt from here, so it's not a big
I'll
deal.
make it available. I'll make it available for you.
I
Okay.
have no preference. I think generally it is easier for people to meet downtown, but if there's no other option, then Olive Street it is. If you could just let us know,
Absolutely.
yeah, so we can just make sure we're all, be at the right place at the right time.
Okay. Are we seeing a need to meet on a weekly basis? Leading into the election, which should only be 1, 2, 3 more weeks prior to the election?
I think
mean,
it's
we
a
have to
good
We have to be
idea.
here for those trainings too, don't we?
Yes, you're in charge of the trainings.
Did you,
We collectively are in charge of the
did you
trainings.
check with my football schedule before you trained?
Sorry, I did not.
That's
It's
right.
deliberately
And
during
that's okay.
football.
As many of you know, I have a Denver Broncos lanyard, so I'm not going to be missing too much since they just gave up 70 points last week.
Maybe.
So, okay, I'm glad we brought that up so I can get those calendared too.
So I do think it's a good idea that we set meetings on a weekly basis.
Yes.
From now until
Yeah, if we
the,
have
no,
possible training discussion to go over that. We need to, check with Chris and make sure that the guys are on target and don't need anything from us. We have absentee, that's gonna be open on the 11th, and they are gonna, can you hear me? I'm sorry.
It's best if you do that.
Absentee will be open on the 11th, and they may need the board's approval or denial of a signature on a ballot. Yes, it needs to have a weekly meeting.
Okay. So then let's look at the next week after the 16th.
I'll be with you in just a second.
Well, while you guys do that,
Okay.
I am pretty happy to say that October 23rd was the deadline for all of the ballots to be sent out for what we had in
September?
hand. Or
September.
September, sorry. And we got all of those out, so,
Great.
Well done.
yeah, the ladies are out here, they did a great job.
Is October 23rd a holiday or anything? Because it's a volunteer lawyer network day, and they usually put those on.
October 23rd, a holiday?
This looks like that's a Monday.
It's not on my,
No, it looks like it's just a regular day, I think. Okay, so that week, again, the morning of Monday, the 23rd, is open.
yeah, that works for me.
Okay. So 11 o'clock on October 23rd?
Sure. Does that work for you, Chuck?
Double check here. Yep, 11 o'clock on the 23rd, that's good.
The following week, we have the training at 6 PM on the 1st. What are you guys' thoughts on doing a 5 PM?
5 PM check-in? Or is that
Five-
considered an
it's-
election board meeting?
It's considered an election board meeting, yeah. So we could start at 5 with the training starting at 6 if that works.
It's a good idea.
So are we on the 1st?
The 1st, yes. Hopefully, we'll have this location then, since we have it, we're going to have it for the,
November 1st?
Yes,
Yeah.
for their first
Training.
training.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that. I'll get back with you.
okay? And then maybe a final meeting on the 6th? Or do you think we should be able to wrap everything up on the 1st?
I think the 6th you should meet regardless, it's the day before the election. But it has to be after noon, 1 o'clock. Our absentee office closes at noon on that day.
Is there some action we need to take on that day after the early voting closes? Or,
There very well may be. I would have to look into it, Chuck.
I can't recall
It-
offhand, but I do recall we met
It
that day.
feels like there's something going on. Yes.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'm wide open in the afternoon on the 6th. Anytime from 1 PM, actually, anytime from 11 AM on, but you say we got to wait until after 1, so.
Well, let's say 1.
That would be great for me.
It works for me.
That's good.
It's for me.
All right. So we've
It sure is.
taken care of our next meeting and all meetings leading into the election. So I now open the floor, unless there's
wait.
other
Oh, wait.
business?
No.
Yes.
I have a couple things.
Oh, okay.
Just want to say that VR closes October 10th.
We're
And
what?
I also, what?
What did you say?
Voter registration closes October 10th.
Okay.
Also, the party chairs have to have their lists of vote center workers in by October 17th. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay. I think they're both duly aware of that, wouldn't you say?
Well, yep, that's just a reminder.
Okay.
And I wanted to provide an opportunity for Chris Lyle to give an update on the vote machines and how things are going.
Yep, thank you. So far, we are right on schedule with everything. We do have, actually, all the Freedom votes have been downloaded. The election is on there now. Those are all complete. Everything's gone well there. We're in the OVOs now, where the ballot actually goes into, and it gets counted, so that's calibration is going on right now. We'll show you guys more when you see the public test on how that is and how we do that going overall. So we're doing that. That will be done this week, and we'll go into poll pads next week. So we're right on schedule with everything and getting all the machines and everything going. We have all the vote technicians on site, so we are full staff there. We are still looking for some vote centers helpers, so we're out there. We need about 32 total right now, and we're sitting right around 18 or 19. Now, I will say we do have an email out to most of the folks that helped in the spring. Some have not responded back. We will do another email out this week just to see if we're going to get some of those folks that just don't read their emails all the time or just haven't put it on the back burner. So we will definitely be a little more aggressive with that this week. And then we're also out with some folks that we know that are just kind of volunteering to try to get more people in there for us and try to help us out with that. So, but overall good there. I do want to say one thing. We are looking to set up downtown, so get everything going. So I know we're working with Kim and Tricia on a date. We're looking at next week to get that done. It's just gonna be important to get that done, get that set up, get everybody trained. So we're not necessarily behind the 8 ball on that, but get ahead of it, and so everybody's gonna be good, and we know that at least that's established with everything that's going on down there to get
Yeah,
that going.
how is the space down there? Who can answer, what's the deadline for the lobby?
Bree's been really pushing them, so she's made them take all their stuff out of the corner. They supposedly had cleaned the floor. I beg to differ, but we can set the tables up at some point this week for at least the supervisors, get them going. Because I was waiting on Richard to have the internet, and I was told by Kim that he said that it is, so we can just get IT down there, set them up, and then they are good to go. We do need to have some files that are over, I think, in Olive Street that need to be brought back here because we have new filing cabinets, so all that needs to be transferred into the new furniture that we have. But yeah, it looks like we can start doing. Now, the other part, I mean, they have a deadline, I think, of October 10th. I said the deadline needed to be October 6th. And Bree's really pushing that, so.
Because voting starts October
11th.
11th.
Yeah. So she's really pushing really hard, like she's going down there daily, going, and then like, why are you not here? You need to be here, you have a deadline. I mean, she's been phenomenal with the whole process.
Do you have anything else? Do you have anything
Nope,
else?
that's it. Everything else is going good. Again, getting those letters out to the centers are going to be key and important, just so we know what we're working with. And hopefully, we won't have to get the lawyers involved. But
Well, he's here. He's here.
so I think, again, having that verbiage on there and being a little more clear with what the need is, I think will help very much. And there was no miscommunication or misunderstanding of what our need is and compared to what they're committing to. So
How many voters did you need again?
we need 32 total. If we get 32, that'll give us 26, 27. We always have around 4 or 5 alternates, just in case, because we do have the unfortunateness of the day of, people will call and say, I can't come in, so.
And you're referring to vote center technicians,
Just
correct?
vote center
Votes-
technicians.
okay,
All my
okay.
vote technicians, voter
You're all
technicians,
set
we're
with
good to go.
those.
Yep,
Great,
yep.
great. Mr. Abernathy, do you have anything to add, or is everything going great?
Great.
Okay.
That's what we like.
Yeah.
Easy.
One-word answer.
Yes.
Perfect.
Great.
Any other business?
Public comment?
Any public comment? Now's your opportunity.
Okay.
Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Seconded?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Matter passes unanimously.